the Nagorno-Karabakh region between Armenia and Azerbaijan has escalated. Azerbaijan President Ilham Aliyev announced this week the restoration of his country's sovereignty over Nagorno-Karabakh, and the self-declared republic will cease in January next year. The conflict has prompted more than half the region's Armenian population to flee out of potential ethnic cleansing by the Azerbaijani government. The Wire's Francis Du has the story.
When powerful forces go to war, it's their people who suffer the most. This is the case for the Armenian citizens currently caught in the middle of the Nagorno-Karabakh dispute. This week, Michael Kolokossian, Executive Director of the Armenian National Committee of Australia, joined us from Goris, where he is part of the delegation of Australian parliamentarians visiting a refugee camp.
The current situation on the ground is that there's in Artsakh, the road from Artsakh from the capital Stepanakert to Goris stretches for kilometres. It's kilometres long. The hour is over 6 hours. Some people are saying they're waiting 7 hours to reach Goris. It's just bumper to bumper. And people have overnight, some people arrived this morning at the refugee processing centre and said that, they slept in their cars because they weren't able to reach Goris in time.
What he describes next is a harrowing scene of families stranded in cars without a place to sleep at night.
Azerbaijan has opened the Lachin corridor after a 9-month blockade, and 30,000 people have, over the last 3 days, are just stranded in the streets of Goris. Like I'm speaking to you now, and as I walk the streets of Goris, there is mothers with children in their arms, and they are sleeping in their cars. I've never seen anything like this.
While some might see this exodus as a move to safety, Michael's response hits home. For Armenians, it's an agonizing loss of everything they hold dear and everything they've always known.
These people have packed whatever it is they could on their cars. There's people with just one suitcase of luggage. There's people with mattresses on the top of their cars. There's kids only carrying one bag of clothes. And I don't think for them this is an issue of, okay, now we're safe. This is an issue of, I've just lost everything. I've lost my homeland. I've lost my rights to self-determination, the right that I voted for, the right for me to be independent, for our people to be independent.
Azerbaijani officials claim to have a plan for the civil integration of the Karabakh Armenian citizens. However, Dr. Lawrence Browers, a Caucasus expert from Chatham House in London, says it will be challenging to see a long-term presence of a stable community in Karabakh.
There's been a lot of discussion about integration or reintegration, as Azerbaijan likes to frame it. It's been very difficult to assess how credible this intention is, because there's never been a white paper, a blueprint, a plan that has been discussed. And so while it's clear that Azerbaijan does have a package, this is a package that has been elaborated without any consultation, without consultation with Azerbaijani civil society, without consultation with international partners, and without consultation, of course, with Armenians themselves.
Following last week's military offensive, there have been meetings between Karabakh Armenian representatives and Azerbaijani officials, leading to agreements on humanitarian matters such as setting up a field hospital and deploying mobile medical teams. It seems there's now an effort to ensure Karabakh Armenians can stay, but this is happening in a context of historical anti-Armenian sentiments and narratives. Michael Kolokossian again.
If Azerbaijan was and did want to come to the negotiating table in good faith, they would remove their troops from the sovereign borders of Armenia. If Azerbaijan did want to come to the negotiating table in good faith, they would have adhered to the International Court of Justice and not restricted the rights of these people and opened the blockade. As in, they prevented people for 9 months from having access to food, medicine, health. And now you're going to say that we're going to give you those things? How could anyone trust that? I think for any Armenian to actually believe that, they would be fooling themselves.
Dr. Lawrence Browers emphasises the need for ongoing interstate negotiations to prevent a resurgence of violence and aggression.
Azerbaijan has, over the last 3 years, experienced this sort of regular surge of military activity and of military victories, and I think that can have an impact on a regime's understanding of itself and of its legitimacy, and that can create a cycle which is quite dangerous. So I think what's really crucial now is that the interstate level of the negotiations between Armenia and Azerbaijan continues, so that we don't see this expansion and renewed violence.
Associate Fellow at Chatham House, Dr. Lawrence Browe is there, speaking with The Wire's Francis Du.